Life is a journey. In every moment, through every milestone, there's a silent partner. Always on. More than transactions, banking is about trust. Union Bank of India. Banking that is always on for you.
Welcome, Kartik, to our Sportstar podcast on some of the greatest spells by Indian bowlers, test matches, and one dayers. And it's great to have you because, like always, you have accommodated our request for an interview. And we have come a very long way from watching you as a 13-year-old and now doing a podcast with you for Sportstar. So it's been a wonderful journey, Kartik.
Vijay bhai, I think that's the chord you have touched. That is absolutely spot on. Before you finish, that is exactly what I was thinking. Just to be featured in that list of some of the best spells, I think it gives me goosebumps. And you mentioned the 13-year-old who didn't want to be a cricketer, who wanted to be a genetic engineer. So for me to be sitting in this podcast in that select group of 10 spells or whatever that you mentioned, I think, yeah, absolutely. God has been extremely kind. And you're absolutely right. You have seen me from the days when I had curly hair, long mops to long hair to no hair now. So you have seen all those phases.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, yes. And it's for you also, it's a wonderful journey. I mean, having played for India, having played for what, seven counties?
No, no, no. It's four counties, but 9 years.
9 years.
9 years of
Okay.
county cricket. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So, Kartik, there have been some wonderful spells. Domestic cricket, you will have to remind me because I have only concentrated on uh, your international cricket. Beginning, I mean, if I look back, beginning with your debut, maybe not great spell, but uh, debut at Mumbai in 2000 against the South Africans. So you got stride on twice, Boucher once. Any memories of those dismissals? Did you work on
Lots
them?
of memories, Vijay bhai. I cannot, it's like the back of yesterday. I feel like that. The reason why I say that is, as I said at the start of this program, for a 13-year-old who wanted to be a genetic engineer coming from a South Indian family full of intelligent people, nobody would have thought that I would have played cricket. So we have no cricketing pedigree or sporting pedigree per se, all academic pedigree, if I have to put it that way. So for somebody like me to have to go on to play for India itself was a very, very big deal. And there is a big precursor or a history to that day. And when I say history, just think of my gurus and mentors, the great Bishan Singh Bedi and Maninder Singh, arguably, I think him, Dilip Doshi, and Bishan Paji, and many others, I would say, in terms of the classical left arm spin, have to be some of the greatest left arm spinners India has ever seen. So Mani Bhaiya and Bishan Paji, and the fact that Manivia made it very early, and then when it was time for him to actually capitalize on that great start, he actually tailed off. So the kind of lessons I had been given and the kind of mentorship I had been given, I think when you see that photograph of a 23-year-old making test debut with Bishan Paji on the day, and the seasons before that, I'd had very, very good seasons. I'd been consistently bowling well. I'd played India under 19. I'd played Ranji Trophy, and I think the first time I actually bowled, I took a hat trick and 6 wickets against Vidarbha. So I had had a good run of 3, 4 years of solid cricket as a young bowler. That's what you want. As a young spinner, that's what you want. And again, I was not a spinner. I was somebody who became a spinner. So for me to have had a good run in domestic cricket, bowling to some of the best Indian batters, people like Ajay Sharma, W.V. Raman, Raman Lamba, and many others. You just think of domestic circuit and the kind of batters that we bowled to, Amol Mazumdar, all those guys. I think it was just a great place to be. Before I made my test debut, I'd played lots of India A tours. I had a great run in West Indies. So when I came and when I was picked for South Africa, I just played South Africa a few days before in a board President's 11 game, and I had bowled well. So for me, as a young kid, nowadays it's different because IPL has actually taken away the awe factor of players. When you hit the international team, you are not looking at everyone and saying, wow, man, I am here. It's like you're hit by the spotlight and you're hit by those. You're not like a rabbit in front of headlights. So at that point of time, and I'm talking about 99, it was the A tours which prepared you for all of that. And it was not as if we had many A tours. But for me, having played a few years of first class cricket, seen the ups and downs, the ebbs and flows, I think had prepared me as a spinner. So when that day came, when I was picked for the Indian team, and it was against that strong South African team led by Hansi Cronje in Mumbai on a track which was actually a green top. Because if you remember, just before that, India had come back from a beating in Australia on pacey tracks. And the first game they got at home in Mumbai was again a seaming track. And also, what helped me to a big degree, I would say, was my 52-run stand with Ajit Agarkar when we were a bit down, because we batted first, and that also took that initial nervousness. Because you can imagine a 23-year-old, for whatever I said before, whatever prepares you, come the day of the big test, you are a bundle of energy, you are a bundle of nerves. So for me to have batted first and batted okay and put on that stand, I think I was actually better off when I went on to bowl, and that way it was very, very good. And when I got Peter Stridham, I think it was again caught by Ajit Agarkar, if I'm not mistaken, at mid-off. As I came into the huddle, there were so many big, big names. Just think of the names that we had. Firstly, Kapil Paji was the coach. Sachin Tendulkar was the captain. And then we had Srinath, Azharuddin, Ajay Jadeja, VVS Lakshman, all these guys in that side, Rahul Dravid. And I think, I can't remember who pointed it out. They said, wishing you many more. And at that point of time, and you know, Bombay is very, very famous because all the former greats of Indian cricket come and watch you. So there is that added pressure. It's not about what you're doing otherwise. And who was there? There was Bishan Paji there. And he was the first one who stood up, and it was as if he was blessing me, and I turned around and somebody pointed out that he's there, and I looked towards him. I think he was the first person I looked towards because I didn't have my family or anyone else. So I have that memory. And then obviously Mark Boucher was somebody I had a bit of a run against, even in under 19 cricket. Every time I bowled to him, I got him. And in fact, the second test match I played in Bangalore, I again got him. So every time I bowled to Boucher, I seemed to get him. And I think even the second innings, no, I don't think I should have got him, but there were a couple of catches dropped. So those are my memories. And again, second innings was interesting because we weren't defending too many. And I walked out to Kapil Paji, and they wanted me to bowl over the wicket. And I said, Kapil Paji, I think we bowled positive, me and Anil Bhai, to limit South Africa. And I think you should allow me to bowl over around the wicket and bowl the way I have normally bowled, because I was not used to it. You know, having trained under Bishan Paji, it was always being positive. It wasn't the, he didn't want any negative bone in your body.
Correct, correct. And then getting Klusner again, Klusner and obviously Boucher at Bangalore. So how was
Yeah.
the Klusner wicket? Must have been very big at that time.
Yeah, Klusner. And again, as I said, the board president's game that I played against Klusner, I again bowled well. So, and he was, and all that chat that he was a big hitter. Of course, he was a big hitter, but thankfully, I didn't cop any of that. And I think he was bowled in Bangalore, if I'm not mistaken, to one which came in. And I also got Sean Pollock caught at mid-on.
Yeah.
Boucher again, but also Sean Pollock. And it was a track where, again, there are days, those are the kind of things which you think of. And again, if ifs and buts were candle and nuts, what a brilliant Christmas we would have. That is not the point. But there are days when you feel if things go a certain way for you, you end up with a lot more wickets against your name rather than the 3 for that you had. So yeah, but great memories of those 2 test matches, which were obviously when you look back, you never thought you would one day play for India.
Right. And Kartik, then 2004, Nagpur, I was going through the scorecards. 3 for 57 and 2 for 72. You got Lehman, Clark, Langer, Cat, all big names.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and that was again a green track, Vijay. And again, the lead up to the test match, I don't think when you look back at it, initially anybody would have picked me, because we had Anil and Harbhajan also in that side. And, you know, I've always been the third in the pecking order. So when I was told that I'm going to be playing on the day of the game, and on a seaming track, again, there was the same game where that green wicketitis mention had been done. That was the Nagpur test match. So for me, I think I bowled outstandingly well, more than the wickets. And that is something which Paji had always taught me or told me, you need to be very happy with how you have bowled. Whether you have a 0 wicket against your name or 8 wickets against your name, nobody needs to tell you how well you have bowled. And for me, I think I take satisfaction and happiness from those feelings. At the end of the day, when you remove your spikes or when you hit the shower and when you look at yourself in the mirror, you need to be happy that you bowled well. And that is exactly what Manibhai always used to say. He says, you always go and bowl well. Wickets will take care of itself. If wickets happen, they happen. But at least you would have bowled well. That is the satisfaction you want. And I thought I bowled absolutely brilliantly on a green track. And I think I bowled better than anyone else. I remember the wicket of Justin Langer. He ran down the track and he was completely beaten in flight. Had a go at it. There was I think the hang time was so much. It was up in the air for eternity, and Lakshman took the catch. I remember getting catch on 199, going back to one and plumb in front. Adam Gilchrist is somebody I got cotton bowled. Shane Warne was beaten in flight and was stumped. And then a big satisfaction wicket was obviously the two left-handers, or in fact, I should say all three left-handers because Langer too. Gilchrist cotton bowled, ran down the track, again beaten in flight, was cotton bowled. And Darren Lehman, who was a brilliant player of spin, he got one on the glove. He got one on the glove and it went straight to Rahul Dravid. So that was a big satisfaction wicket as to how you're bowling more than anything else. Again, comes back to what Paji always used to say. In the nets, if your ball hits the sticker, then you're bowling well. When the batsman is trying to defend, if it goes and hits the sticker, you're bowling really well, son.
Correct. Yes. Yes. So now I come to the big match, Mumbai, where obviously you were man of the match. 4 for 44 in the first inning, 3 for 32 in the second. And among your victims, Hayden, Damian Martin, a wonderful player of spin, Adam Gilchrist, Kasparovich, of course, then Ponting and Martin again. So I'm very keen to know your dismissals of Damian Martin because I thought he was a terrific player of spin.
Yeah, absolutely. And he was having a great run. If you think of that test series, it was Damian Martin's series because of the way he was batting. Like if you think of 2000 and Hayden, 2004 was absolutely Martin everywhere. He was getting runs for fun. And then for me, Martin was a big wicket because I should have had Martin a couple of times before as well. But this was the second innings. I think it was clutch because in the first innings, I remember getting Gilchrist and Hayden in the first innings. And Casper I got. In the second innings was the time where we were only defending 103, if I'm not mistaken. And immediately after Zahir had finished bowling, rather than Anil or anyone else, Rahul threw the ball to me. And for me, it started with the wicket of Ricky Ponting because he defended. I was caught by Lakshman at first slip. There was a bit of a ricochet of DK's Dinesh Karthik's pad, and it went straight to VVS Lakshman. And within a space of 3 overs, I had three people. So Damian Martin, who had been a scourge, he was LBW. And then Michael Clark, again, a fantastic player of spin, was bowled to an arm ball. So that actually set the path, I should say, because we were only defending 103. And to get all those, or to get those three within a matter of 3 overs, just turned the game around.
And how special would you say was that man of the match?
Vijay, playing for India is a big honor. And I've always said this, to be named man of the match in a test match against one of the best oppositions in the world. And because Australia was so many years ahead of everyone else and they were the team to be beaten or whatever you can call it. So I think it was just an unbelievable feeling, I would say. Just unbelievable. I can't have any more adjectives to it because, as I said, just to be playing for India is a big feeling, and to cap, or the cherry on top, is to be the man of the match against Australia.
And the next man of the match against Australia, I want you to talk more about it. 10-3, 27-6 at Mumbai, and in a one day. So there again, of course, you had Hodge, Simons, Haddon. Hopes was also a tough wicket to get. So Hogg and Lee. How special was that game? Because one, if you can talk about that spell and the world record which was attached to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you think of that series, just before the series, I'd done again really well, was playing county cricket and was called up for the third game. And I had a very good third game in Mohali. In fact, the 48th or the 49th over I bowled, I gave away only 2 runs. So bowled beautifully. I think got Simons and Hayden in that game and just bowled well. Again, my comeback game was very good. And the games post that, with Nagpur, in Baroda as well, had bowled really well. But just before this game, I got injured during practice session. So my right thumb was injured. So I didn't know whether I would be playing on the morning of the game. I was obviously bandaged, and MS said that it's okay. I know it will be a bit of a hamper to feel, but it's okay. I want you to, even if you're not 100% fit, it's fine. I want you to play. And that's how I played. And again, the rest is history, because Bombay has always been a very, very happy hunting ground for me in first class cricket, or be it anywhere. You mentioned 6 for 27, the world record figures. In fact, my best Irani Trophy figures has stood for the last 25 years as well. It is 9 for 70 against Bombay. I think 5 and 9, if I'm not mistaken, or whatever it was. So 9 for 70 against Bombay in an Irani Trophy game. That has also stood the test of time. Again, was at Bombay. So Bombay has always been a very happy hunting ground. And it so happened that I started getting wickets one after the other. Again, they got off to a great start, if I'm not mistaken. They were 120 odd for one. And then to have, at one stage, I was 6 for 17, not even 6 for 27. It was greed to get the 7th wicket, as Paji would say. Oh, purchase a wicket. I ended up giving 10 more runs. Otherwise, I could have ended up with maybe 6 for 19 or whatever, being the figures against Australia. And twice I was on a hat trick. So yeah, again, very, very happy memories against a very, very strong side, because they were going great guns at one stage at 120 odd for something.
What was it that you tried? I mean, did you stay normal, or you tried something extra, because you had only obviously 10 overs to bowl?
No, I didn't try anything extra. Again, as I said, there are days when things happen for you. That's why I said at the start of this program, if ifs and buts were candle and nuts, what a beautiful Christmas we would have. But there are the days. These are the days when things go for you. Whatever you do works well. But there are days when whatever you do doesn't work well. There are catches dropped. There are decisions not given. Some sitters missed. Whatever you want to call it. But then on this day, everything happened. I'll give you a very simple example. I get Brad Hodge. That was the first wicket. And everybody will see if they watch the videos, that the camera pans back. And there is a deep point when Andrew Simons walks in. And Andrew Simons, again, had a great series. And I request MSD, and I have a slip and whatever, 2 slips or whatever. And I requested MSD to get point up, because you feel confident with your bowling and you don't need a deep point. And again, to a batter who's just walked in, you don't want a deep point. So MSD says, "Nahi, rehne do." And then he finally accedes to my request, and he brings him up. And I bowl possibly the worst delivery in that spell, slightly short. And Andrew Simons is on not. And Sachin Tendulkar is not even deep point. He's like 10 or 7 yards inside the 30-yard circle. And he tries to backslap it and back cut it. And it goes straight into the hands of Sachin Tendulkar. And it was not a great delivery that I bowled. And there are other days, like the days I'm talking about, in other games, where the bat pads go somewhere. Again, as I said, the Bangalore Test match, where you only see a 3-wicket haul against your name. There were catches dropped. There were decisions not given. So these are the things I'm talking about. So your story suddenly looks a lot more rosy than what it is actually. Because at the end of the day, people who watch the game, remember everything. But otherwise, you only see a scorecard. And scorecard doesn't tell you everything. Over here, scorecard will say 6 for 27, world record figures. But the scorecard doesn't say that I bowled a very bad delivery, but I got a wicket. But there are other days where you bowled brilliantly and it doesn't show. So that is what I meant when I said that I didn't try anything different. I was very normal, as I normally am. My simple philosophy when I walk out every time is bowl well. Adapt to the situation, bowl what is required in that situation against the batter that you need to bowl to, because you also have a previous history. You also have your own game plans, and you also have an understanding of what he might try and do to you. And that is where a bowler is always good or bad or great. The way he can suss out conditions and adapt to it.
And Kartik, you are being very humble, pointing out that you got a wicket of a bad delivery. So can you remember one good delivery for our viewers? Good
I didn't
delivery
get you.
one good delivery which you thought, um, yes, it deserved it.
No, all of them, all the others deserved a wicket. It's just that this one was slightly poor because again, the wicket delivery is the wicket delivery, but in one-day cricket and in um, test match cricket or red ball cricket, you can set it up. There are other deliveries which actually get you the wicket delivery. So for me, the fact that I got a very good ball to Brad Hodge, and I'd always bowled well against Brad Hodge. So there are certain batters. As I said, I've always bowled well against Ponting or Gilchrist or Klusner. Um, but there are also other batters when people hear the names, they might not be big names, they're very big names otherwise, but they won't be bracketed in the legends category, what people want. I have not I've not had any success against them. So I always put my hand up and say, oh, these are the batters I struggled against. It doesn't have to be a fancy name like a Sachin Tendulkar or a Ricky Ponting. But I've had better days against them, but not good days against certain others who are exceptionally fine batters. So apart from that, Andrew Simon's wicket, I would say all the others were really good. I bowled a really good delivery to Brad Haddin, a good arm ball. There were others which had spun away, so he was playing for that. Hopes, Brett Lee got a good one. So yeah, otherwise the spell was perfect. It's just that one delivery, I was just backed up with my own sense that I had the field up. Otherwise, it would have been 1 run. If I had bowled that delivery with Sachin Tendulkar at deep point, it would have been 1 run. It so happened that Sachin was inside the 30-yard circle and it ended up being a catch.
And Kartik, I'm sorry I didn't do proper research of your domestic cricket. Can you please talk to us about that Irani Cup match against Mumbai, so that our viewers, your fans, will get to know about a game which is not there on social media, or not footages, not visuals available for us to enjoy that game.
Yeah, again, it was a very, very good game because it was a strong uh, rest of India side against obviously Mumbai, who constantly know how to win the Ranji Trophy. So we were led by VVS Lakshman. We had Virender Sehwag, Sadagopan Ramesh, Jacob Martin, SS Das, Ashish Nehra, Doda Ganesh, Sarandeep Singh. So all these guys. But the only issue was, can you imagine somebody like a Virender Sehwag was not in that playing 11? Can you imagine Virender Sehwag not being in the playing 11 of an Irani Trophy game? And that was the case. And it was again in at the Wankhede on a good track. The good thing about Wankhede, Vijay Bhai, is that it's always been a pure cricketing wicket or a true cricketing wicket. And I say that because you look at it over the years. Chennai used to be one of the fastest wickets. The red soil at the Wankhede helps bowlers like me because as a spin bowler, what you have in your hands is different. What your skills, uh, what you can do, they're all with you. But sometimes everything gets nullified if the pitch doesn't even, the pitch just kills it. So you can only do as much with your hand. You can only do as much in the air. But after that, if it pitches and just goes, I'm blowing raspberries, because once it goes like that, you can't do too much. You can beat the man in the air, bat pad goes down, edges don't carry to slip, and then the balls which normally hit the sticker or get an edge are hitting the middle of the bat. So you can only do as much. But if you're a good bowler, Wankhede allows you that because it's a red soil surface and there is fast turn. And again, for a batter too, it gives great value for shots. For the seamers, there is enough pace and bounce. Again, imagine, Michael Holding always talks about speed through the air, but if it hits the surface and the surface completely dampens it up, you can't do anything beyond that. So that's why I always loved Wankhede. And again, I was just very lucky that I got 9 wickets with the kind of bowlers that we had. To get 9 is a big deal because I don't get the ball first. It will be they who will be bowling first. And it's also interesting because A.V. Jayaprakash was the umpire at my end, and A.V. Jayaprakash was the umpire when Anil got 10. So AV was Jayaprakash sir was saying, "I hope you don't get the 10, then people will blame me again." That was the joke which was going around. And what happened was, Sarandeep was bowling at the other end at that point of time. I think Santosh Saxena walked in at number 10. And I think the brief to him must have been, don't allow Kartik to get all 10. I'm pretty sure it must have come from one of the opposition spinners, not from anyone else. Anyways, he walks in and Sarandeep is bowling at the other end. And Ritinder Singh Sodhi, who is part of the squad but not playing, walks in as a sub. Sarandeep is trying to not get the 10th or not get that one wicket. They want, everybody in the team wants me to get the 10th. And Sarandeep bowls a wide one. Santosh decides that he has to come and have a swing. He swings at it. The ball's in the air and it's flying low. Everybody is shouting, including the bowler. I didn't shout anything. Including the bowler, VVS, everyone. Don't catch it, don't catch it. And Ritinder Singh Sodhi dives and takes a spectacular catch. It was one of the funniest things.
Only Ritinder Sodhi could have done it.
And he was squealing up in the air, and the others we had obviously won the Irani trophy, but it was so nice that everyone wanted me to get the 10th. When I think back,
after him after the game.
Why would anybody go after? It was about winning. It's not about personal milestones. You don't plan a 10. I didn't even plan a 9. It so happened. It happened. Again, I've got an 8 for 29 against Delhi, but I didn't plan it. 8 for 29 against Delhi, but you don't plan these things.
Correct.
You only bowl well.
I remember Srinath admonishing Sadagopan Ramesh trying to take the catch when Srinath was trying to avoid a wicket because Kumble was a 9 wickets in Delhi.
Yeah. So that is what happens. That's what teams do, and that's what teammates do. Can you imagine everyone, including Sarandeep, hasn't got anything to show against his name. Again, he's also trying to bowl and he's also shouting, "Chhod de, chhod de."
So that's one thing. And Kartik, so we've talked about your spells. One question which I ask everyone is, would you consider a good spell if you have taken deserved wickets, or maybe on a day when the ball is coming out well out of your hands, and what satisfies you more, 5 wickets or the fact that okay, you got only 2 but you bowled really well?
Yeah, I answered this question, or in a way, I answered it. It was part of my answer because the way I was brought up, and you have to remember that I was not a spinner. I was a seamer who became a spinner. I started playing the game because of West Indies cricket, and I wanted to be like Sir Garfield Sobers. Nobody can be, but at least the aspiration was there. He was the shining light. He was the one I looked up to when I took up the game because he did it all. He was a complete left-hander. Bowled fast, bowled spin, stood anywhere, batted anywhere, could change the game. So that is what you wanted to be. And for me, I started off as a seamer and then bowled left-arm darts. So for me to become a spinner was thanks to all my gurus here in Delhi, Bishan Singh Bedi and Maninder Singh. But one man I always give credit to is MP Singh, sir, because the way I used to hold the ball before Bishan Paji and Manibia actually helped me out in a big way. It was MP sir who actually changed my grip. And he said, "Aise pakdo to ball ghumega." The way I was catching it itself was wrong. So I could only bowl darts. So when you think of all of that and to where I ended up being over 1,000 or close to 1,100 wickets in all 3 formats, playing for India for 9 years, the one thing which has always stood with me, and these are certain boxes I ticked, and again, it is not me alone, obviously a bit of my experience, but my grounding years and my foundation years with Manibia and Bishan Paji, and they always used to say, you have to bowl well. And Manibia always used to say, even if you're not getting wickets, you should be bowling well. And that is something which has stood with me. And that is something which I tell everyone, because it's not me alone. It's not my analysis. It's not my wickets. We are playing for a team. So in trying to be selfish, everybody wants to do well. I am going out to perform, but you don't get wickets every day. But you can try and bowl well every day. You can bowl for your side. And again, this is where county cricket also helped me a big way, because County cricket, you can't be an attacking bowler every day. There are days where it's swinging and seaming all over, where it's cold. And when you have a ball in the hand, you don't let the side down by trying to buy wickets or get wickets and going for runs. You have to provide control to a captain. So it all boils down to that. There are days when things go right, everything goes right, and you're unstoppable. You keep getting wickets. There are days when you have to wait 20 overs to get your first wicket, and then you might get four in a jiffy. So that is what Test match cricket teaches you. It teaches you to those ebbs and flows are outstanding. It tests you mentally, it tests your skills, it tests your stamina. So for me, what has always stood strong is the fact that any situation I'm given the ball, any situation I'm bowling, I have to bowl well. Whether I have wickets, again, comes back to what I said. When I go finish the game, when I look at myself in the mirror, I need to be happy that I bowled well. What wickets I got is immaterial.
Sorry, briefly before I let you go, I've heard you are great friends with the West Indians, especially Gary Sobers, Viv Richards, Brian Lara, and you go and play golf with them.
No, I wouldn't say I'm great friends with Sir Gary. Sir Gary obviously is somebody I looked up to. I've met him a couple of times, so that's all it is. And I wished I was a great friend of his, because you can't ask for a better friend. I know Dilip Doshi, the wonderful Dilip Doshi is a friend of Sir Gary, and a very good friend of Sir Gary, and Sir Gary rates him very highly. Yes, Sir Viv, I can proudly say that I've spent so much time with him, working together, playing golf with him, and having spent time in the evenings. So yes, I can proudly say that. And Brian too. I've not played golf with Brian, but obviously worked with Brian, and I'm a huge fan of Brian Lara, having been invited to his house a few times. So yeah, all those things are there. And I'm a huge fan of STD cricket. Chris Gale is a very dear friend. So I can say that. Darren Ganga is a very, very good friend. So yeah, absolutely. And a couple others like Raul Lewis, Dinanath Ram Narayan. So all these guys are very good friends and good people.
Have you bought a house in one of those islands there?
I wish, Vijay, I would have definitely loved to do it, because I think there is a part of West Indian in me.
Yes.
Because the first time I reached West Indies in 1997, and again, as I said, I had started this game because of West Indies cricket. And think of those halcyon days of West Indies cricket. And I landed into Port of Spain, and I did this, like a Shah Rukh Khan thing, as if I've arrived. I've arrived to my motherland.
Yes, we were together on the tour.
Gee.
97. So, Kartik, can I ask you one question? I don't know if it's a question to ask. As a commentator, are you a bowler's commentator or a batter's commentator?
I would like to say that I actually angle towards the bowlers, because at the end of the day, there are so many rules which are so much against bowlers. Yeah, everybody will say we have 6 balls, 60 overs, 10 overs, whatever. But at the end of the day, the bowlers are the ones who look bad. I know batter has got only 1 ball, but at the end of the day, they get out there, the misery is over. As a bowler, if you're having a bad day, it's there for everyone to see. And if I get hit for 4 sixes, I can't say, yeah, 5th and 6th, somebody else can bowl. No, I can't. If I'm going all around the park on a certain day, if nothing seems to land or whatever be the reason, the misery is still ongoing. It doesn't finish. So from that point of view, and also many other things which happen, the bowlers are the ones who have to put in the hard yards. We bowl for the batters in the nets. When we come out to bat, there is hardly anybody who's there to bowl. But when the situation becomes sticky in a game, then they will expect the bowlers to go and win you the game. But we didn't practice enough, no? The bowlers, poor guys, didn't practice. There was nobody to bowl for them. And then we have to bowl in the game. You look at it, a batter will complain if there is slight moisture on the pitch, if it is green, if it is fast, if it is turning. All they want are flat wickets. Have you ever seen a bowler groan and complain? We bowl on flat tracks. We might be going for 600 runs, but we'll still continue to bowl. So I think I would say I'm more of a bowler's commentator, and I'm always trying to put myself in their shoes, because it's a tough ask. It's a tough gig being a bowler. It takes a lot out of your body. The batters don't have the kind of injuries that we have. The batters don't go through the kind of rehab we have, shoulder, back, knee stress fracture, knee, ankle. It's only the bowlers who are there. You look at all the injury concerns. A batter might get hit while trying to bat, and there is the kind of overuse injury that a bowler has. I think only we know how it feels. So I can safely put my hand up that as I'm talking more to you, I'm going more towards the bowlers. I'm veering more towards the bowlers. You think of it, a batter can move outside the crease, can go anywhere, but if the bowler runs him out at the non-striker end, he's the one who's vilified. He becomes the criminal. But the batters have been doing it for eons, thinking that ye hamari jagir hai, we can do it. Nobody should do anything against us. If they move right, left, or center, the bowler tries to avoid him wide. The bowler misses it by this much, it's a no ball. He didn't want to wantedly try and bowl a no ball,
Correct.
but the batter can do anything he wants. He can switch it, but he can't do anything else. So everything is loaded in their favor, and everything that happens, it's only the bowler who's criminalized or vilified.
So I was very happy when Mr. Gavaskar and Mr. Kapil there supported you.
I've done it. I can do it 100 more times. I've got no qualms about it, because anybody who comes and tells me that we are the ones who are wrong can have a look at themselves in the mirror, because they are the ones who are stealing. We are not stealing. We're on. Yeah.
And thank you, Kartik. Thank you from the Sportstar. Thank you personally from me for giving us your time and speaking so well and sharing some of your wonderful experiences from the ground. And wish you all the very best for your forthcoming ventures in the commentator's box. And keep those books there. I'm going to invade your house.
Vijay, firstly, thanks to you and Sportstar for thinking me worthy enough to be part of this program. So thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Cheers.